Welcome to the Beacon House Podcast, recorded live in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Beacon House, everybody. Thanks for joining us here. We're coming at this is sort of the pre-spring 2025, like it's early March right now. And before we get too far, I want to say hello to my co-host, Grace, right over there. Grace, how's it going?
It's going good. Hello, Spencer.
How have you been?
I've been good. It's some life-changing events are happening. It's starting to go into spring, but things have been good. I can't believe it's 2025 and we're not almost over with it yet, but feels like we've been in this year forever.
It already feels like it's been a whole year. This year's been so fucking weird. Now, there's somebody else in the room with us now.
There is.
Who's that sitting over there? Who's that sitting right over there?
Grace.
Hello, it's Grace. It's also Grace from episode 200.
I was going to say he's holding the microphone so graciously.
Yes, indeed.
It's me, Grace.
Folks, this is a fucking milestone. We've got Grace and Case both in the same room. So it turns out you're not the same person.
That honestly, that's a great morning DJ show.
Grace and Case.
Gracie
and Casey.
Early morning with Grace and Case.
Yeah.
So
We
yeah.
Pitch that. Someone buy it.
Yeah, quick patent that. But yeah, we've got Casey Bishop, founding member of Beacon House. Actually, the guy that named Beacon House. He came up with the name of this podcast.
It started it all.
It was one of those things where I had a list of 12 names and read them off to Spencer, and that's the last one, and it hit, and Spencer was like, that's the one.
Yeah, it's kind of the same way we came with our band name. Like, Hunter's wife just said it, and I went, that's it. You
kind of have to. You can't really think about it too much because it's never. So, but you just got to go with the one that you're like, okay, that one.
Yeah.
That's how I name my dogs.
You did. That's how you named Finn?
That's how I name my dogs, yeah. That's how I named my kid, too.
Well, guys, I tell you what, before we get into, we could talk about 2025. There's so much stupid shit, but let's talk
about the good things.
Let's talk about the Oscars. We're a couple days past the Oscars right now, and I have some things to say.
I bet you do.
Did you guys have any big takeaways on the Oscars about any?
I didn't watch it. I watched all the,
Did you see any of the movies that were big Did you see The Brutalist or Honora?
Yeah, I saw a lot of the movies that got nominated, a lot of the ones that won and stuff. And of course, I look at all the fashion because I love seeing all the gowns and the Adam Sandler moment. And then, of course, Adrian Brody's 10 minutes.
I've got, dude, the Adam Sandler moment was spectacular.
It was funny.
By
Chalamet!
Chalamet! He went up to him and did it. That was from another award show, fucking spectacular. Happy Gilmore 2 is coming.
That's right.
And it's got Margaret Qualley in it.
Oh.
I don't know if it's a big part, but she was talking about she actually got a tiny role in Gilmore 2. But speaking of Margaret Qualley, a movie I've been talking about on this podcast since pretty much the dawn of time, The Substance. I feel like The Substance kind of got the raw end of the deal, the shit end of the stick at the Oscars. It is what it is. But it had really racked up the awards heading there. The SAG Awards,
it won all
Golden Globes.
Boom,
boom, boom, boom, boom, boom, and then got to the Oscars.
She won so many,
and then at the Oscars it got snubbed.
Highway Robbery.
Well,
Mickey Madison.
Let's break it down. The one it really lost to a lot.
Hold on, did y'all see Aurora?
Yeah, Honora.
Okay.
Honora.
Okay.
And I did see it, and it was great. I liked it, and I like her.
It wasn't bad,
but
it just seemed like another one of those, the movie Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. It just seemed like another movie for a certain generation. It was good. It was well written. It was well acted, but it wasn't something that stood out where I'd be like, that's an Oscar.
It was Gen
winner,
Z Pretty Woman. It was Pretty Woman for Gen Z, basically.
Yeah.
This all sounds like, this isn't music. That sounds like you both are like, no. Skrillex is not music.
Let's talk about categories a little bit. So The Substance did win an Oscar for Best Makeup, and no shit. I dare anybody to swing dick with that. Come on.
Yeah.
Seriously, it was all practical effects. None of it was CGI. They really did all that. Not since the legendary makeup from the 80s, like Rick Baker and the Thing. Did you see anybody really go for it like this? So you would have had to close the Oscars down if it didn't win that, but it lost. So Honora won Best Actress over Demi Moore, and I kind of can see it Because like if you've ever seen Mikey Madison, like an interview with her outside of her Quentin Tarantino role or her she's been in a Scream, she's been in a few things. She doesn't act like that. I mean, it's what I would say is the characters she portrays are so wildly different than her in real life that I get it. I mean, it's a big feat. It shows range. So, and the character she played in Honora just had a lot of quirks. It wasn't as wild as The Substance, but I could see it being, I'll give her Best Actress. I'm okay with that one. There's a couple I'm not okay with. It beat The Substance in terms of director. The best Coralie Farge is the new fucking Quentin Tarantino. I think she is easily like the next Ari Aster. She is it. She's my favorite director I've seen in ages. And I think that she's going to do things that are going to absolutely destroy the brains of humanity. She's so good, so far ahead of everybody. And if you watch you can Google this and watch it on YouTube, behind the scenes, like the making of The Substance. It's about 20 minutes long. It will blow your damn mind. All the work she did, like a lot of the times, the first perspective things you're seeing, it was her. It wasn't even the actresses. She was the one in the dress, like operating the elevator with blood all over her hands, wearing a camera on her head. Like she was front and center. And the blood scene where it's spraying, she was holding the fucking hose. Like this chick, just do yourself a favor and Google making of The Substance if you really want to see a director working hard for the product. I've never seen somebody go that hard. Anyway, so, on the one hand, she did that, and then this other guy just directed a movie about a girl banging Russians. Look, whatever. I disagree with that one. And then the best original screenplay, Honora won that over The Substance. The original screenplay? Like, she played like a hooker. Okay, look.
Well, she won. They won over, what's the one that Culkin is in?
A Real Friend or something like that?
No, A Real Pain.
A Real Pain.
A Real Pain. I saw that. I loved that movie. Caleb, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to, cried.
What is this movie? What is this?
It's A Real Pain.
A Real Pain. It's Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
He was the director and
Kieran
he wrote
Culkin won, didn't he?
He won
rightfully so.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Okay, I'll put that on my list to check
They
out.
beat that one. I thought honestly, that one should have won original best screen. It was the movie. It was so well written. It was original. It had so much emotion behind it. It had all these, like, everyone that played the part just did it perfectly. It was a great film.
Well, I got to see that. I haven't seen that one. I still haven't seen The Brutalist, but I hear it's spectacular. Although listening to Adrian Brody's fucking acceptance speech makes me not want to watch it.
I'm just going to say his movies, I don't know, just everything he's in, I get really bored.
Well, I
get really bored.
I'll tell you something about Adrian Brody. When he won the Oscar, and I don't know if he deserved it or not. I haven't seen the work, but he walked halfway up the steps, turned around, threw his gum to his wife, and then went up and gave the longest acceptance speech in the history of the Academy Awards. In fact, they start playing the music at like 3 minutes, and he kept going for another 2 minutes, like 5.5 minute long acceptance speech this guy made. Everybody was like snoozing at hey, Adrian Brody, fucking land the plane already, okay?
Well, because he was like, I guess what he was talking about war. Like he was like
whatever.
Talking about all the.
They're supposed to try to keep it at 45 seconds, and then in case they get carried away, at 3 minutes the music starts playing to kind of tell him, "Hey, buddy, wrap it up." And he went another 2 minutes.
That's how I feel about his movies.
Well, honestly, that just reminds me of Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes. When he was like, "Listen, you're celebrities. No one gives a shit what you think. Your opinion doesn't matter.
You know nothing about the real world.
Yeah, you know nothing about the real world. Get up here, accept your speech, thank your God, and get the fuck off stage.
Yeah.
That's how you should do this.
Yeah. So,
and then it cuts to Tom Hanks, and he's like,
so man, honestly, Honora really cleaned up at the Oscars, but the only one that I really feel like that I can kind of make sense of was Best Actress, because I think she really did a lot of.
She did do a good job, but I don't think she did better than the others.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I saw the movie. It was a good movie. I was entertained. Her character, I was super entertained. She definitely played the character very well. You would have no idea that that's not her outside of this character. You would have thought that was her. But, I mean, from seeing The Substance and seeing all the other films, that's just.
I will say this.
I did not watch Wicked, so I can't say anything to that.
I wasn't interested.
I
didn't
saw
see
the
it either.
play and I didn't really care for it, so I
Yeah.
didn't care for the movie.
I never watched The Wizard
I
of
don't like
Oz and went,
musicals.
I want to double up on this shit.
yeah.
Yeah, can we dive further into the Wizard of Oz
Keep
story,
going.
please? Can we go? I want to find out what the witches are up to. No, not really.
I love that. Well, I will say this. There was a couple cool things. I don't know if you saw the animation. Flow won an
Have you
Oscar.
seen it?
I saw it. I liked it.
Great. I cried.
And another movie that was nominated that didn't win, but I also really liked was Wild Robot.
Yeah, Wild Robot was
Like,
really good.
It got me. You're talking about your boyfriend like crying. Like I actually cried during Wild Robot. Fucking got me.
I cried during
Real
Wild
quick,
Robot too.
In 2025, can we normalize dudes crying at movies? Because
Yeah.
movies can.
Oh shit! I've been there for years.
I've cried at several, like The Road with
the Cormac McCarthy.
yeah, with Viggo Mortensen when he's like, at the very end of that movie.
Yeah.
That heartbreaking.
Oh, let's get into this. What are your tearjerker movies?
Lately I've been crying at fucking everything. I'm dead. You can ask Caleb.
Just having that kind of a year?
I've just been fucking crying at everything that there is. I'm just
Like
getting
fucking
teary. I cried during Flow, Wild Robot. What else?
Like the alarm clock goes off and you're crying.
Yeah, we both cried at a Real Pain.
Wild Robot got me. It was cute and it was just good. I mean, it did all the things right to
Yeah.
like really get
We
you.
just watched some dog movie and that one got me.
The last movie I cried at, and I had to like hide it because, of course, it's one of those things like you're in a movie theater and you're sitting next to your wife. You're like, oh,
if you're a dude,
if she sees me, she'll want to talk about feelings, and I can't do that right now. I want to watch this movie. And so we went to go see Interstellar re-released in IMAX, and so we went back to 10 a.m.
and that's
showing
one of your favorites.
by far.
I've never seen Interstellar.
You would love it. It's
This is the
wonderful.
guy to sell it to you right here. Yeah.
It's fantastic. Even if you don't like space,
It's streaming right now, so I could watch it.
please do. It's Christopher Nolan, so you can't go wrong there.
It's a good one.
But in IMAX, and it wasn't even really the movie. It was sitting down in IMAX. The movie starts, and I started tearing up because I was like, I get to see this movie again in IMAX. That was the first time I saw it. And the most recent time was going back to see it in IMAX, and every emotion throughout that movie hit exactly the way I remember it.
That's awesome. I don't remember when the last time I cried in a theater was.
Well,
But-
just watching a movie.
But it's happened. Now, I did recently, I went back and kind of like, I kind of rediscovered my absolute love for the animated film from the early 80s, Secret of Nim. And I found it and I like streamed it online and it got me.
That's a great movie. I love it.
It was sadly
Anything with animals.
I'll tell you a fucking a dark twist. Not that was already a very dark animated movie with a lot of adult themes and a lot of scary images and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But like I found out that like I went back and checked out the voice acting from, because now you can view that on the screen, when you're streaming, so you can find out who all's on the screen.
Yeah.
And I went, and there were a bunch of like popular child actors that voiced her kids, like the small mice or whatever in there. But like the lady that did the voice of Miss Brisby, the main character in Secret of Nim, was this famous actress from like the 60s and 70s. And she like had crazy mental health issues. And you can Google it and find out what her name is, but like she wound up like killing herself. Like she jumped to her death from like her apartment building and all this stuff. And I was just like, because I was thinking like, I wonder what happened to the cast of The Secret of Nim. Like, and turned out like it was real bad. Like
It's almost just as bad as the cast of Poltergeist.
yeah, oh God, yeah. Or Glee, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody from Glee like died or became like a
Never watched Glee.
pedophile or committed suicide. Jesus Christ.
Do you think the lady from Secrets of Nim jumped out a window after or before? Well, I guess it would have to be after witnessing Dennis Quaid eat shrimp in gross mayonnaise sauce, talking about how
Oh
she's
my
aged out.
God.
Because that made me want to kick him in the teeth. I couldn't stand it.
So many people, I told them, you've got to watch The Substance. It goes hard. It goes fucking hard. And then they would go, and I go, be careful now. It's not, don't eat before you watch it. Like it's not for the squeamish. But all the gore is definitely secondary to like the story. It's like a craziest modern fairy tale kind of a thing. But
If you didn't know, Spencer's favorite movie right now.
really made an impression.
Before this, it was The Dirt. So don't worry.
Well, this is like
Is it better than The Dirt?
100%.
I love it.
Like this is the best movie I've seen in a decade or longer. This movie just did a lot of real brave shit. You know what I mean? But I told a lot of people, hey, watch out, it's gross, and they all would like the grossest thing was Dennis Quaid eating this fucking shrimp.
I about
It
vomit.
was so gross.
It was so gross.
She got right up in there and shot that. Like, dude, that's again that director. She made so many like kind of normal things so fucking gross and wild. And
I now watch people eat because like making sure, and I can't be around them if they
Listen,
eat
I
like that.
had to mute it. I'm not gonna lie. Halfway through that scene, I realized what he was telling her, and I understood the context of the scene, and so I just muted it and just sat and watched in silence for a minute because I was gonna throw up if I had to listen.
You know
to
what's
him.
crazy thing about The Substance is like at the beginning of the movie, she looked great. Like she was gorgeous. Like that, I mean, there was nothing wrong at all. She didn't even have like wrinkles or like any. She just
She had a little bit of a weird butt.
maybe, but I mean, she's
just
like
old. Just
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's normal aging.
yeah, dude. But like for a lady her age, she looked awesome. And then just like she let people tell her that there was something wrong with her and believed it. And every time she tried to change something about her, it got worse. Like the finger and then the foot and then the whole thing. Like she just kept trying, and it just everything she did made it
that's
worse
life.
and worse. Yeah,
Think about all the people right now that get lip fillers or chin fillers or implants and wear fake eyelashes and extensions and all these things. Think about them like 20 years down the road. They're still going to have to do those things because they're not going to have natural collagen. They're not going to. Their face is going to be encaved and their lips are going to be gone and they're not going to have any eyebrows or eyelashes and their hair's going to be falling
they're gonna look
out.
like Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, because they're like doing all these things to themselves now because they think that they're imperfect and that society says they have to look this way and this is what's trending. But when you do those type of things, you're ruining your natural,
Yeah,
your
like
body's natural ability.
You're kind of just better
Yeah.
off like.
Just leave it alone. You're
Yeah.
gonna get filled with Botox. You're gonna have to get Botox for the rest of your life.
Yeah, dude, there's such a moral, like it's like I said, it's like a fairy tale. It's a fable. It's Jekyll and Hyde. It's fucking Cinderella. It's all those things rolled in. There's so many thematic things that were at work in The Substance. I didn't really realize until I watched it like 2 or 3 times, and I was like, oh, dude, she's really zigging and zagging. Like this lady she's really pulling out some big guns here. Also, you could just watch as a crazy monster flick if you want, but there was so much symbolism and like even the gore at the end. You know, like it's funny. I saw, and I'll shut up about The Substance now, but I saw like a meme, and it showed these people like in bed watching TV, and it said, when you realize that Mikey Madison beating Demi Moore for the Oscar is actually the plot of The Substance.
Just about.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway,
That's true.
So the Oscars, you know, I don't know. Are the Oscars still relevant? Does it matter?
I mean, to a lot of people, it does. It's their life. It's what they live for.
It definitely matters if you're an actor, I guess, you know, or if you win an Oscar, then all of a sudden your pay grade goes fucking way up on your next movie,
I think it mattered up until Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. And then after that, people were like, well, it's peaked. You're not going to have another celebrity attack a celebrity on stage. So
Yeah. Also, where the fuck was Will Smith when Adrian Brody was giving that long fucking speech?
he's not allowed at the Oscars for the next like 15 years.
Yeah, he's like
that
banned
makes
from
sense.
it.
He's
Hey,
banned from it.
I will say this while we're still talking about movies. There's an exciting, rather to say, I'm excited about a movie coming up. Have you guys seen the preview for a movie called The Electric State?
Yeah. With
No.
Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt. And
Yes.
The Russo brothers, right?
Yes, and here's the cool thing. If you didn't notice, so normally these days,
It's based off that Danish artist.
boom, that's what I was going to say. Simon Stålenhag.
Yeah, Into the Loop
Tales from the Loop.
or Tales from the Loop.
Yeah,
I have not seen this.
So there's this guy, Simon Stålenhag, and he's this crazy, they call it retro-futuristic artist. And he does all this crazy art, and a lot of it's based in like the countryside of like Sweden, but except there's like big crazy robots, but not like futuristic, kind of like vintage looking, like broken down robots right alongside like a fucking windmill and a bay of hay. And like, it's wild, but his style inspired a TV show called Tales from the Loop, which was very weird and
Really sad.
really sad, and it visually stunning. Like to me, anyway. Like this vintage robot kind of stuff. I think it's awesome. So anyway, they've made a new movie. It's about to come out like in a couple weeks, I think, on Netflix. called The Electric State, and it stars Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown, which that could go a couple ways. Chris Pratt's been cast on a lot of, in my view, like, not the best. And she's even been in a couple things that were kind of, so like at the onset, like it doesn't look great, but then you find out it's based on his art and his work and a book, I think maybe even that he wrote called The Electric State or whatever. And then the Russo brothers who did Infinity War, who did Endgame, like, so there's a lot of like potential for The Electric State. Now, I'm not calling it right now that it's going to be spectacular, but it could be really fucking cool.
Yeah, for me, it depends on if they go more of the like retro, like artist style, or if they make it this big like hero action thriller. That would be if it turns into this like big robots fighting robots action thriller, probably going to lose me. But if they make it a little more down to earth, and like find a way to make the robots a little more,
kind of humanize the robots.
Yeah, humanize them, make it a little more realistic, and not make it about the explosions and the gunfights or what have you.
Yeah,
I think I would be into that.
I'm gonna have to look this up. I don't know. I don't know.
It's definitely got potential, but it could. They could also easily not stick the landing. But anybody listen to this, please look up Simon Stalenhag, and that is Stalenhag. Very, very cool artist with like, again, retro futuristic, like robot sci-fi art type stuff.
Yeah, it's like a red rusted pickup truck and a bale of hay and like some kid smoking a cigarette, and then in the background there's two robots.
There's like a droid, yeah. But like it's got rust on it, and it's not like a pointy transformery looking. It's like real round and got like it's real pleasing. Anyway,
yeah. But speaking of Botox, I did have something I wanted to talk about.
I love that.
Are you getting Botox?
I'm not. No, you can't. I'm just going to have to wrinkle. I think that's just going to have, like we said before the podcast started, getting old sucks. And I'm just, kind of riding that train.
Yeah. I'm like there. I'm like 3 years to 40. That's what I'm thinking.
God, I'd trade places with you in a fucking heartbeat.
So I've noticed something recently, and it could be that I don't work in customer service anymore, so it sticks out more. Not to bring it up for a second episode in a row, but I love it so much, so I just want to keep talking about it. I've noticed, I want to say in the last like 3 months, that the age of the Karen is going away.
Is it? Because they're all around me.
I feel like more and more businesses are caring less about what the customer thinks and the customer being right all the time. I've seen more and more videos, and I've seen in person at least 3 times now where a woman will be at the counter, or it doesn't have to be a woman, somebody who's being a Karen will be at the counter, and they're like, no, the coupon says this, and the person's like, actually, if you read the fine print, it says per transaction, get lost. And you're like, whoa. And, it's one of those things that
Well, dude, what I'm finding more often than now is that a lot of the places where that transaction occurs, like where the angry person comes in and causes a big scene and talks real shitty to people that aren't getting paid enough to listen to it, like a lot of that, like it usually happens at some sort of like a counter, like the front counter. A lot of that's getting replaced now with just like screens, like giant iPads.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
so they can't argue with a computer. You know what I mean? Like, like they just sort of take that whole interaction is just disappearing.
Yeah.
So these mad, angry people can just stay out there in the lobby and be mad. Like there's no button for complain on there. I mean, the customer business experience interaction is getting less and less and less.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking away the customer service. They're taking away those jobs. Like, we don't need that. We can just have AI do it.
Yeah.
A chat robot. So when you go online, you complain because your Amazon orders, and like you just go online, or you need to change your Liberty Mutual policy and you're angry. So it's just, they're just taking away that personal effect of it, and it's just computers.
Yeah.
So you either get an answer or you don't.
Yeah, I'm upset, and the person's like, "Hello, Chad. Thank you for texting me. My name's Stacy. I'm definitely not a robot, and I'm going to help you fix the issue that you have."
Pretty soon, AI is going to be the only thing that has to listen to all that shit.
Yeah,
and then that's when the whole Skynet and Terminator thing happens.
Did you guys hear the new Grok AI? They sampled it. So Elon Musk. Yeah. So Elon Musk, and this is not a endorsement of or a criticism of, like, we're not talking about whether he's good or bad, but he's invented a new AI, and he had it on the Rogan show, and he had it on his phone, and you can set it to like unhinged, and it'll fucking roast you. Like it was a woman's voice. I'm guessing you could pick different voices or whatever, but they had it set on unhinged, and he was asking it like, "Hey, is there any gold in Fort Knox?" They go, "Ask if there's any gold in Fort Knox." He goes, "Hey, Grok or Amy or whatever it's called, is there any gold in Fort Knox?" And it goes, "What are you, some kind of a fucking conspiracy theorist?" Just roasts him. So there's a chance that you might be able to get actually a punchy AI that gives people what they fucking deserve.
Yeah.
You might get the wrong AI and you get what's coming to you.
Well, that's just like companions.
Oh,
Like,
the movie Companion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
companion. So like you can set them like to their intelligent or aggressive level, and then like in the end like super aggressive, and it's just like fucking killing everything.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it. I want to watch it so bad.
It's good.
It's
Companion's good.
Yeah.
Companion is
I
good.
loved
it a lot.
Barbarian, so I assumed it's going to be great. 'Cause it's the same
I
director.
don't think it's as good as Barbarian was just
Barbarian is really good.
wild. Like in terms, this isn't as wild as that. It's about like an AI thing, but it's a great movie and a great actress that plays
Yeah.
the robot, and like when she finally realizes that she's like not human and she gets the iPad, he's got her intelligence set like super low, and she's like, wow, like she fucking runs it all the way up.
She's like aggressive.
Yeah, she starts speaking all these different languages, but still shit gets weird. Did you watch it through the credits? There's like a mid-credit scene where she's like in a car.
No.
If you didn't go
No.
back and watch it through the credits because it's funny.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'll have to add that to my
Companion's good. It's a good watch.
streaming list to watch.
Yeah, it's worth it.
I brought that up just because I think I saw it in person at a gas station where a guy was trying to buy a pack of cigarettes, and he was like, "No, the coupon says I get it for $1.50," and the lady's like, "Per transaction, get out!" And I was like, "It's 6 a.m. It's 6 a.m. I'm holding a biscuit in my hand. This is too much aggression for 6 a.m.
Holy shit.
And then I got in the car and was talking to my buddy, and I was like, I think it's inflation. I think it's the fact that those people behind the counters now don't make enough to care about doing they don't care about being nice anymore because they can't afford to even buy a house.
Well, also, and it's maybe we'll segue into some things that have been in the news recently. Also, our world leaders are providing an example on the fucking news where it just like nothing gets resolved and people just argue and
They hold up auction signs.
My God, did you see that fuck fest in the Oval Office?
I was embarrassed.
Now listen, but we're not going to go into. I know a lot of people that think.
We don't have to do it too much.
Well,
Yeah.
I
You
know.
just dip our toe.
I know a lot of people, and some of these people I respect greatly, that believe that the U.S. is literally like the big bully, and that J.D. Vance and Trump had this fucking guy in there, and they just bullied him, and his country's in attrition, and they're going through a war, and how dare they speak to a world leader like that? And it was just a big bullies club, and like that fucking reporter that criticized what he was wearing, and like, I get it. I get it, man. It was a lot to take in. And then I also know other people who think that the whole situation with Ukraine is just a huge money laundering scheme for the United States, where they've been sending billions of dollars because they needed to have it go somewhere.
Where's my aluminum foil at? I need to
So
make a hat.
I know a lot of people who think a lot of different things about
I think
why.
that last one was just Spencer's opinion.
No, actually, I've heard that was actually explained to me by somebody that was like really running it back, like going all the way back to like when the Berlin Wall fell. The point is regardless of whether it was Ukraine's fault, they violated some treaty they had with Russia, or whether it was our fault for sitting the prime minister in. What I'm saying is, regardless of whether you think who's the good guy and who's the bad guy, Russia's the bad guy, Ukraine's the bad guy, we're the bad guy, whatever. They got on TV and they acted like fucking children.
They
Yeah.
did.
And it's disheartening.
It is, and it's extremely embarrassing that these people rule our country, and these are the people that we have set forth to make an example of what America is to the world. And my thing is you can't justify the war on Israel and not justify the war on Ukraine. I understand that we don't want to be in war. America shouldn't be paying for other people's war, but if you're like behind Israel and you're fine with America funding that, but you're not okay with us funding and helping Ukraine fight against dictators and evil, which is what Israel's war is about, then what message are we sending to the world that we stand for one dictatorship but not the other? I don't understand
Sure,
that.
you're 100% right.
And it's frustrating because you can't justify one and not the other. And it's like we shouldn't be fucking paying anyone's war, but we can still help. we can
Yeah.
still try to help to end.
Man, and you know what sucks too is if you look at like Pollster or
And Musk fucking wears a goddamn fucking hat in the Oval Office with a T-shirt. So, explain that one, motherfucker.
yeah,
I really need to find this aluminum foil. I need to get my hat on.
dude.
By the way,
I had to grab the mic for that
I'm
one. Sorry, I said goddamn, but that shit pissed me off.
He's got like a Stranger Things T-shirt on, you know.
He's just wearing a fucking hat. His kid is telling the president of the United States to shut his mouth.
And the kid's name is like X34 Zarglon 12 or some
There's
shit.
just no respect.
that.
There is no respect. And I
man.
think I would like to know, I mean, yes, we're finding out all these things about corruption and where our money really has gone, but when you look at the bigger picture, I think of what is happening, we are just losing in humanity.
Yeah, man. All this stuff with like Doge and like they're going in and like, you know what, man, I'll give them a chance. I'll wait and see what happens. But dude, they've got to stick the landing at some point. Like laying off all these like the public servants, like the park officials, like the park rangers, and
dismantling education,
yeah, dude,
dismantling like it's just all of it's just become like to a head. It's like, really, what message are we giving our children, and where's our future going?
Yeah,
I mean, it's just, I think this is a
well,
mess.
you know, something they could do is if there really is like this, if they really are behind the scenes and they're finding all these crazy things, which I believe they are finding some crazy shit.
Yeah, probably.
But if they're finding all that stuff and they're going to save us, you know, they're going to take $2 trillion off of the deficit by September. They say they are, whatever. They could at least provide a cohesive message to the American people that says something to the term of, all right, listen, here's what we're doing. Here's how it's going to affect you. And not fight and not go after like the fucking trans community and not go out, you know, like
it's all about the trans community. It's
yeah,
like
dude,
everything
like,
I hear. I don't hear about, you know, what about the wheelchairs and your cousin who has Down syndrome? What about the moms that need to breastfeed?
Yeah, I could stand a little more coverage of that kind of stuff, like assuring that people are still going to get government assistance who need it and assuring everybody that this is going to benefit us and getting us out. Like, somebody may be doing something good somewhere, but they're not doing a very good job of delivering the message.
Mm-mm.
It looks unstable and it's extremely disheartening, and it's just not. I don't know. Like there's some people in there that I believe in, like Tulsi, you know, like, but she can't do it all on her own. You know, like somebody's got to step forward and be an adult at some fucking point. And you know.
I'm just over it. I feel like I'm just done.
I think there should just be an age limit for Congress and government officials in general. Like you hit 65, time to go.
Yeah.
Head on out.
Thinking.
There's no way you're thinking about the other generations at this point. You're just like, how can I make the rest of my life comfortable?
Well, that's all they do is they just spend the next 20 years doing insider trading.
Yeah.
From 65 to 85. They know all the fucking people that handle the money, you know what I mean? They just hedge their bets.
Like, I don't think like the majority of people in that room, like, you know, when they're holding the auction paddles, like you look across the whole crowd and you're like, just a bunch of boomers still fighting. Why are we still allowing boomers to fight over what we get to do?
It doesn't need to be that way. And my thing is like, you know, they're finding out all this corruption and money being sent here and like, you know, the deceit here and the lies. But honestly, you can't blame it on the Democrats. I feel like on the Democrats and not the Republicans, because each president's only getting 4-year term. People are getting elected in and out. So it's like, this goes back years and years of corruption that it's been happening. So Republicans have been doing it.
Yeah.
Democrats have been doing it. It's just one large shit show.
Yeah.
Government bad.
Government bad.
Government is horrible.
Yeah, and if they're going to, and speaking of, if they're really going to eliminate corruption and all that, let's have some fucking Epstein documents. How about that? Remember, we were supposed to get all the Epstein documents, and they showed up with like one page, and it just said "to be continued." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Well, I just want to reiterate, he did not kill himself. There's no way.
There's no way.
I'm still waiting to see these Diddy names.
Oh, they'll be in there. You know that'll be in there. Supposedly they're releasing everything, but every time the problem is the people who want to release it, like the Attorney General. Mm-hmm. They have to get it from the FBI. Well, the fucking FBI is like, we lost it behind the dumpster. Meanwhile, there's like a trash can with a bunch of paper in it on fire. You know, they're like,
It makes you wonder because it only has to be, there has to be
somebody's covering up so much
but
shit.
Here's the thing: there has to be, like, I'm sure there's celebrity names on there that the FBI could care less about, but there's names on there that they are worried about the world finding out what they did.
Somebody in a big black limousine has pulled up, and the window went down, and a cigarette smoking hand came out and pointed at somebody in the FBI and said, "Get rid of those documents before they find out who we are."
And they're like, "Yes, Miss Clinton." We'll delete them just like we did those emails.
Yeah. I mean, dude, somebody has told them to get rid of the evidence. Like, you know it, dude. When the attorney general can't even get it from the FBI, I mean, there's some shit going down.
Nope. It's all gross, and I don't like it. You know what? This episode should be called "Oscars Good, Government Bad."
What else is going on, guys? Is there anything else fun? So the government blows. We all know it. It's terrible.
Sucks. Oscars was, uneventful.
Yeah, yeah.
The close was great. What is happening? I mean...
Well, there we go. We're all doomed.
We're in March.
As Bernie Sanders would say, we're doomed.
As Bernie Sanders would say, I need more money.
Yeah. Please, someone, FISA.
I don't want to talk about the substance more, but I kind of do also want to
go
talk
ahead.
about the substance more because I just watched it last night.
Give us,
you just saw it. See, I only watched it the one time. I couldn't do more.
I had never seen it.
Yeah.
And so, like, when it came to theater, Spencer was texting
so
me
he's
about
fresh
it.
off.
Like,
He's fresh
good.
off.
So and it was incredible, but also, ew. Like, that's my review.
I had to go home and watch, like, Bambi.
Well, the opening scene of the Oscars was Conan O'Brien coming up out of her back.
Was it?
Yeah, in a tuxedo. It's spectacular.
It's one of those movies that really went back to 80s body horror, which I was like all about. Demi Moore is like a elderly ghoul. Like, yes, the majority of the movie is about like old actresses and the young hot new thing, kind of, that, I don't know, symbolism of like aging out of Hollywood and things like that.
Yeah.
But also, I think a lot of that movie's symbolism was about just getting old and how scary getting old is.
Sure. It had multi thematic qualities to it. Like, it was about our opinions of ourselves, how tough. Like, there's that scene where she's like getting one of the most famous scenes in the movie. She's getting ready to go on that date, and she just can't get her makeup right, and she just freaks out, and then winds up just blowing the guy off.
Yeah.
Like that really nice guy that wanted to take her out, like that. Right there, she made so many wrong decisions throughout the movie. All were made out of like insecurity.
Yeah, there's so many little lessons to learn, and the one that I think I like the most, which I took, is like she always wanted a little bit more, and it was like you can't take more than 7 days is what you get, and then you start hurting the other body, and it's like doing unto others, being fair, allowing them and not harming. And it's like you're always just taking and taking and taking and give and just sucking the
and
life out
that
of
might even
something.
be like a solid metaphor for like addiction. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like you right when you like you first dip your toe into it, and then you expect to have self-control, then you can't. You just take and take and take, and then it just destroys you from the inside, literally from the inside, like.
And I absolutely loved that both of them kept calling that guy on the phone and being like, they're not doing what they said they were going to. And he was like, there is no she, there is you.
Yeah.
You are both. You need to have this under control. This is not my problem. This is your problem.
Yeah.
You are one.
There was one of the wild scenes too is like that, like when she's in that car wreck. Spoiler, by the way, if you haven't seen The Substance, stop this and go watch it. But she's in that car wreck, and then she's in the hospital, and there's that like fucking angelic looking dude. He's just like doesn't have a fucking wrinkle, like the most handsome guy you've ever seen ever. And he's just like, hey, he's measuring her spine,
It's like perfect.
And he's got like a tattoo or something, and
Like
she
a
sees
mole
him
or a birthmark.
something. She sees him later, and he's like this old decrepit fucking guy. You're like, he's been there.
Has he started eating you yet, or eating away at you yet? Something like that. And she's like, what are you?
So foreboding, dude.
And it's just right there. And that's just like a thing for life. That's just like consumerism.
And
when
when
just taking and taking into yourself, and you're
I
just
like
squeezing out
so much of The Substance that they just didn't explain things because it doesn't fucking matter. Like who's making it, where is it coming from? Doesn't matter.
She's like
Doesn't matter.
crawling through this alleyway under a dark
And then
door,
she gets into that fucking room, and it's got so many different like mailboxes. And then by the end of the movie, there's only a couple left.
Yeah.
Like,
How
you
is she
don't
pulling like fried chicken out of her stomach?
Jesus.
that messed me up.
That's
I
when
was like,
Hunter and I
what is she pulling out?
Hunter and I in the theater were hitting each other like, what is it going to be? What's it going to be? What's it going to be? Like a fucking drumstick comes out of her guts. Ugh.
And she's just like pulling that out and it's
Dude.
like all this. And she's like the monster on stage, just like twirling around.
Guys, don't worry, it's me.
She tapes that thing to her face, and like even the symbolism of like she just keeps spitting out tits. And like the metaphor there is like that's the male audience just wants tits, more tits, more tits, more tits, and the thing's literally vomiting up tits at the end.
Yeah,
like there was such a absurd desperation to it. You know what I mean? But it makes a very real statement. And like the biggest thing about that movie I thought it was a great movie. But beyond that, every time I thought it had crescendoed, like that's it, that's the climax. It went further and went further. I mean, like. I just couldn't believe how extreme it got. Like one friend of mine, John Ferguson, he goes, Jesus, dude, this thing turned into a fucking Gwar concert at the end.
It really did. Like the death metal turned on and like the blood hose. It was.
It was like a blob, just
fucking Dennis Quaid's just sitting there covered in blood. Like, oh, that's what I looked like watching it.
I will say my favorite scene, I think, in the whole movie was at the very end when the kid in the Hawaiian t-shirt, I think his name was Chunk, went up to Elizabeth and was like, don't worry, Elizabeth, my parents said you come home and stay with us. And he was like, oh. It was a Goonies reference. I'm sorry.
There's a lot of Goonies.
Like, it
was a lot of Goonies in that one.
I really was waiting for her to be like, hey, you guys, it's
Dude.
me, Elizabeth Sparkle.
And then she just explodes on the sidewalk. And the sound, the squelching, I was like, oh.
Well, it's like she explodes, but the first thing that goes is just like her knee from earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Like I noticed that she was like trying to bend the knee.
Oh, I didn't even put together
And
that
so she's walking down the sidewalk really fast, and that
Same
knee
knee.
explodes, and then she falls forward, and then
I didn't even
erupts.
catch that. I remember she had trouble with that knee. I didn't even catch that.
I can't.
Oh my God.
I can't.
And then the face fucking crawls to the fucking star, you know, like.
I will say, so my wife, I try to get her to watch horror movies as much as I can. I made her watch Annihilation this week, and she made it up into the bear scene. She watched the whole thing, but the bear scene, she was like, tell me when it's over. This is brutal.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Annihilation's a good starting point because it's beautiful, you know. Like,
yeah. Well, and I've got her in the point where she watched Mike Flanagan TV show. Like
There
she'll
you go.
watch Haunting a Hill House,
Midnight
Bly
Mass,
Manor,
yeah.
Midnight Mass, loves those. But I was watching
The Substance is maybe not the movie for her.
She was in class online, and then she came out and she goes, can you pause? Like she opened the door to the living room. She was like, can you pause it? And I paused it. And she goes, I just need to get my Kindle. I don't want to see anything gross. And grabbed her Kindle and ran away.
Yeah.
And after the movie was over, she was like, so what do you think? And I was like, you're never watching that movie. And she was like, thank you. I never wanted to see it in the first place.
It's definitely not for everybody. And, you know, honestly, man, I think if it wasn't such a gag out gross fest near the end of it, that it probably would have gotten a little more Oscar attention. But also, I kind of love it because it took those chances. Ben Eller, our dear friend and guitar savant, and you know everybody follow Ben Eller on YouTube. You know he's over 500,000 followers now. He was telling me, he goes, man, like I really think that this, as crazy as this movie was, it stuck the landing, and any other director or most other directors wouldn't have been able to do that. Like that lady really. Just to get a cohesive story of that magnitude out, like she really fucking went for it, man.
Well, and I went on her IMDb, and it's not like she's knocking out masterclass horror movies left and right before this. It's like
Revenge
was, I mean, I thought it was okay.
It was okay.
I didn't even know it was the same director.
Yeah.
But then I watched The Substance, and I was like, oh, if she sticks with this, like the body horror and like going
the blood.
I don't think I can watch any more body horror after that. It was too intense, and it's a lot of cringe.
Like the next time and I'm sure she's going to take a
the
little time
constant
off.
needle injecting was too
I
much.
couldn't. The needle into like the infected abscess was
The
just
next time she puts a movie out, I'm going to go to the theater and just be like, all right, baby, fuck me up. like I had the same sensation when that movie
Do you want other people to join you, or is this like a hot date kind of situation?
Either way, I'll be happy to just watch.
I'll be there.
Dude, like I had the same, when that movie really started to like take off, I had the same sensation as like when you're walking into like a haunted house. Like, all right, get me. I was so ready for the thing to like shake me up a little bit, you know?
That's kind of how it was with Hereditary. I walked in, like, it was the first time going to see a horror movie where I was actually a little anxious because I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah. You know if you can handle it or not. Yeah.
And then the ending happened, and I was like, that was close to not being able to handle that.
I think that's it. I think The Substance, the first movie in many years where I felt like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle whatever's coming next. I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle it.
That's how I feel about clown movies.
Ugh, clowns, gross.
Oh, you must fucking shit over Terrifier.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's terrifying, but it's still really good.
Flanagan's got something really big coming out next year.
The Exorcist remake.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's doing when he's doing it, like, it's going to be good.
Dude, we were, to kind of pedal
Dr.
back.
Sleep was awesome. So.
Yeah, to pedal back just a tad, like, we did the Halloween scary movie thing, and we had our friend Hannah Ridgway on, and she's a big film fanatic, but she was talking about Exorcist 3 and how underrated it is. And I was like, oh my God, we used to watch that, and it scared the piss out of
Never
us.
seen
Has
that.
hands down the best jump scare in any movie I've ever.
That's it.
It's always gotten me.
Exorcism 3?
Yes, Exorcist 3.
Exorcist 3.
Yes.
And
It's kind of like, it's not even like really an Exorcist movie. It just has, it's like in the Exorcist universe with the same guy that was possessed at the end of the first one. But really, it's kind of like a suspense, like Silence of the Lambs kind of thing. But you're right.
The nurse with the hedge clippers. Dude,
Best jump scare. Exorcist 3 fucking stands up over time. And shout out, Hannah, thank you so much for bringing that up. We revisited that, and it was just like, oh, spectacular.
I'll have to watch it. It's on Amazon.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
'Cause I haven't seen it.
It's
really
a good...
It's sitting for like the next 4 days. So
it's a little bit of a slow burn.
Yeah.
I will say it's a slow burn.
It's not a gag out, gross fest, fucking exploding crazy like the first Exorcist. I mean, it's like, yeah, dude, it's almost like a detective movie in a way, but it's got some real supernatural shit in it. Really, really good.
I'm actually staying on the movies. I have a buddy who's never seen Prisoners. Have you seen Prisoners?
Yeah, I just came. Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal, Hugh Jackman, Terrence Howard. It's
I
about,
have not seen it.
Hugh Jackman, Terrence Howard's daughters get kidnapped. Jake Gyllenhaal's like the detective on the case. It's Denis Villeneuve, the guy who directed Dune. It was like one of his first movies he did.
Oh, okay.
Dude, it is one of those fly under the radar, master class, amazing movies.
Okay, I'll check it out.
And I have a buddy who's never seen it, and I own it on Blu-ray. I own it digitally. And
It's called Prisoners?
Prisoners.
It's
Okay.
streaming right now on either Netflix, Max, or Hulu.
It's, dude,
It'll get you.
it'll get you.
Okay.
Even the ending. The ending it's so good.
Damn, okay.
So please watch it.
Well, fucking A, I'm in. Prisoners. Okay, that's some good movie watching homework there.
I'll have to watch the extra tonight.
Yeah, we
Be by
recommend.
myself, light some candles.
Oh, you'll like it, and it's that kind of a movie. It's like a good, creepy, scary, like popcorn sitting up kind of. It's not like I can't handle this by myself. Like it's engaging and it's like atmospheric and like.
I watched all the Conjurings by myself.
So
Oh, then
I
you'll
can't
be-
wait for the fourth one.
You'll be fine. You'll be totally
Sorry,
fine.
out there.
Have you guys seen Cuckoo yet?
Yes.
Yeah, I
It's
saw it.
so good.
I don't think I understood it because it kind of didn't land with me too well. I thought it was cool, but I was also just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's definitely fucked up, but it was good. It freaked me out.
Yeah, basically, I mean, the way I took the story is that this guy moved to this area to open a resort, ended up finding a cryptid, which was that woman.
Yeah.
And realized that she was similar to like the cuckoo and would like impregnate women with her own children, let them carry, and then they come out and they'd be crazy. And then this family moves in as
he's
like, it's like a host family almost.
Yeah.
And then the girl starts kind of uncovering
See,
it.
I should have watched it with you to help. If someone would have been there to explain it like that, but I was just kind
He's
of
doing
like,
he's doing like an experiment.
Yeah.
It's like a lab, and so he's like trying to find the perfect specimen
yeah.
to.
Also, I think I fell asleep during it and then woke up a few like 30 minutes later and was like, what the fuck? I don't know where I am. I don't know what's going on.
It's definitely one of those movies that like you watch it, but you really have to read between the lines. Like I know people who will watch a movie and like look at their phone and then watch the movie, look at their phone. You
Can't do that.
You can't do that.
Did you see,
it's one of those that everything in the background is adding to it, and it like all adds up together.
I will do a service to the filmmakers and I'll revisit Cuckoo, and this time I'll get a full cup of coffee and I'll pay attention.
It was creepy.
Did you see Strange Darling?
I've not, but I want to so bad.
Boy. Another
you so
fly under
bad.
the radar, diamond in the rough, like spectacular. It's the girl that was in, I think, Yellowstone.
Yeah.
And another real popular actor guy. His name escapes me, but Strange Darling. It's in Eli Roth, Quentin Tarantino. It's very got that that kind of confusing, mysterious cinematic vibes. Like the story gets chopped up into chapters and they're out of order, and you really don't know like which one of them is the bad guy. You're like, what the fuck is going on? But it's so engaging. It's a masterpiece.
I need to watch it.
It's one of those like
it's really really good.
It's really good.
It's really and it definitely there's like a massive twist. Like it's just like holy, what the fuck just happened?
If you Google like best horror of 2024, like you'll see The Substance in there a lot. You'll see Cuckoo. You'll see Oddity.
Oh yes, Oddity. It was really good.
Oh, good. It's beautiful.
I can't believe I forgot about this.
It was just barely creepy, but like it was more atmospheric.
Do I need to watch Oddity before I come back?
I watched Oddity.
It's just
I watched
great.
it in the movie
It's just
theaters
great.
and was it terrified me.
See, I wasn't
and then
terrified.
I
I
had
just
to go.
thought-
We watched it again, and it was just like other things that I had missed.
Yeah.
Saw it again and just watched it, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
I think it's beautiful, like the way it looks, like just aesthetically, it was just real cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily terrified. There are some scenes like when that fucking thing all of a sudden is like, you'll see, but it's like Oddity is spectacular. But if you on the list of like best horror of 2024, a lot of times you saw Substance, Oddity, Cuckoo, and then Heretic. Sometimes, but then you saw Strange Darling, and I was like, "What the fuck is Strange Darling?" I don't remember seeing that or hearing anything about it, and I had to kind of dig a little bit. And sure enough, it's
I will say,
Chef's Kiss.
Another movie. It didn't come out in 2024. I think it's a couple of years old now. But did you ever watch Talk to Me with the like plastered hand that was like had writing on?
I did not. Did you guys see it?
I did. Yeah.
It was really good.
Is it good?
I watched it and I was like, because a lot of people were like, it's their first movie, like. I always go into freshman movies like that, especially horror movies, with a completely open mind to like let them tell their story because
100%.
It looks like an original movie.
Yeah.
And maybe not the most like mind blowing experience I've ever had, but it was a really good like creepy ghost story for sure.
Awesome.
Did y'all watch In a Violent Nature?
Yeah, I saw it. It was weird to me.
You didn't like it? I liked
Probably,
it. I liked it because it was weird. It was different.
I think my thing with
I'm kind of for me, jury's out. Like there were parts of it I thought were cool, but then also I was like bored out of my fucking mind about some of it. But it was weird.
That's the one that follows the killer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The acting of the other characters completely pulled me out of the movie, where it was like, the girls would be sitting by the campfire and the guy's rolling a joint and they're like, "Oh, you're such a stoner," and he's like, "Guilty as charged."
Oh yeah,
and he like light it up,
corny.
and you're like, "Oh my god, can we just get to the point where you kill all these people?" And then the killings happened and they were brutal.
Yeah, the one on the edge of the cliff was fucking nuts.
The yoga girl,
Yeah.
was insane, and that part I loved. But then every time they'd be like, "Get him, Tanner," and he's like, "I punched him. Get on the car and run away." And then they would drive off, and it's just like, "You're only doing this because you slept with him." And she's like, "Fuck you, Tanner." And you're like, "I don't care at all. Can we just get back to the killer getting up and killing these people, please?"
He's gonna catch you. Like he's walking such slow motion, but he's gonna get you every time.
I love that. That's
so
hilarious.
it really was one of those movies. I watched it, and afterwards I was like, God, that really might be the worst movie I've ever seen outside of the kills.
Oh, I liked it.
Don't think
It's not
I'm
my favorite. Oh, it's not definitely
But
not
also,
my
don't think
favorite,
I'm
but
over
it
here
was
like, ew, Grace
Yeah.
likes In a Violent Nature. I'm not yucking anybody's yums. That's first and foremost.
Did you see Blink Twice?
No.
Was that Channing Tatum?
Yes.
I didn't see it.
So fucking good.
I heard it was good.
It was so fucking. It's fucked up.
Blink Twice
It was
was?
fucked up. Oh my god, it was fucked up.
All right, so this is some good movies to put in the queue. Blink
Have a
Both
whole
again,
new
I don't
list.
want to ruin it for you, but it is, and Channing Tatum does such an amazing. Everyone does such an amazing job.
Yeah.
In the movie, it's an amazing director, but it's fucked up. Fucked up.
Interesting. Okay.
Some fucked up shit.
Okay.
I will say
Yeah,
Blink
some
Twice.
suspense, some
Blink Twice.
thriller.
So I need to check out Blink
It's not
Twice.
really
Talk
gory,
to me.
but
you have a lot of
It's
movies to
fucked up.
catch up, but you're gonna have time.
I'm gonna have. Yeah,
I gotta watch old ones. Caleb and I are about to do a '90s rewatch because
Others.
I've never seen The Heat, so we just watched The Heat with Sean Connery and or not The Heat, The Rock.
Oh, The
Sorry,
Rock
The
with
Rock with
Nick
Sean
Cage?
Connery and
Holy
Nick Cage.
shit,
So
yeah.
he wants to like watch all like the '90s
classics. Face
the
Off.
Con Air, Face Off. I've never
Blade.
seen Face Off. I've never seen Con Air in full sit. I've always seen it in parts. I've never seen Blade.
So good.
So we're about to watch.
Just wait for
these.
the
And
blood.
we watched You Got Mail. I cried and you got mail the other night. But that used to be
it's
one of
been
my
forever.
favorite romantic comedies. We just watched that.
Weirdly enough, this past summer, I was at the beach, and me and my family decided to sit down and watch my best friend's wedding out of nowhere.
Oh,
We were just like, yeah, well, I was like, who wants to watch my best friend's wedding? And
God,
they're
it's
all,
been forever.
yeah, let's do it. It was phenomenal. It's so good.
there's so many. I'm watching right now. I'm watching White Lotus. I just
it's great.
rewatched. I just rewatched all of White Lotus because
Yeah.
I watched the first 2 episodes, and then I was like, I got to rewatch it all. And I haven't watched the 3rd episode because I'm waiting on Caleb, and he
dug
wanted
it.
to watch the Lakers game last night. So
I dug both seasons. I dug both seasons of
It's
White Lotus.
amazing. I'm obsessed.
I think the first season might have been more entertaining, but the second season has Aubrey Plaza, and I'll watch anything with her in it, like hands down.
Have
The
you guys
second-
seen Shrinking?
Oh fuck yeah, the show.
Yeah,
Oh,
Shrinking.
it's, yeah, it's like Ted Lasso too.
It's one of those
Oh,
like
it's spectacular.
sad but feel good. It's
It might be
Jason
this-
Segel.
It might be the second greatest show of all time, just under Ted Lasso, which is easily the greatest show of all time.
Yeah, I've not seen it.
And
I
it's
haven't even
also-
heard of it.
It's written by the guy who plays Roy Kent.
Yeah, he's in it.
Yeah, he's
he
in
even
it.
shows up in it and has a very, very
What is it
weird
about?
character. Yeah, Shrinking.
Shrinking, it's about Jason Segel plays a therapist whose wife recently died in a car
Like in
accident.
the opening episode, he's like whacked out on pills and blow, and he's got hookers in his pool because his wife is like died or whatever, and like the neighbors are having to come over and go, "Hey man, can you keep it down? You got to be up." And he's like, "Oh, hey, are those prostitutes?" And he's like, "No, I don't think they are. I think, but he's like a shrink, and Harrison Ford's in it, and they all work in an office together, and just
it just really feel good.
the
What is it on? What
the
is it streaming
whole
on?
Apple TV.
the whole
Have Apple TV.
It's worth
It's like $7.
Hey.
do it.
it's worth getting just to watch Lasso and Shrinking.
Well, I've seen
Yeah.
Lasso, and Lasso is amazing.
It's
So
got the
good.
same feel, the same writers,
Yeah.
like some of the same cast, but also, you know what's crazy about Shrinking? I'll say this. Since you brought it up.
I'm not done with season 2 yet.
Okay, I've got maybe 2 more episodes to go, but here's what I love about Shrinking. Shrinking combines a whole bunch of like some of the shows that are really dear to me. One, obviously Ted Lasso. It's got the same writer and same kind of feel. It's got same high quality and same story arcs, you know. But then it's also got a bunch of the cast from fucking Cougar Town, which nobody fucking talks about. What a great show
I've
Cougar
heard
Town.
of Cougar Town, but I have not watched it.
Oh my God. It's
It's
like,
Spencer's favorite show.
dude, it's not. It's
no, Ted Lasso is.
No, I know.
Cougar Town is an uncommonly hilarious show. I
Some
mean,
people
like,
call me a cougar.
dude, it's like Friends
You
meets
put that antler mask on.
it's like Friends meets Scrubs. It was so violently funny.
It's Courtney Cox, right?
Courtney Cox, but through the surrounding cast is what really made it. Kind of like in Ted Lasso. It's like you got Jason Sudeikis, but he's not remotely responsible for the success of Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
It's the whole gang. Cougar Town was the same way, and it was so funny. Well, a bunch of those people, like the next door neighbor on Shrinking,
Yeah.
she was the primary character on Cougar Town.
She was also on Scrubs.
It's on Scrubs too, right? So they have that kind of that same. I don't know. There's just a lot to love about Shrinking. It's the sum total of a whole lot of really good things. It's great, but
I got to get Apple TV now.
I will say,
just if you I don't know if you saw the whole Ted Lasso
Yeah.
all the way. Okay.
It was really good. I really liked it.
I would literally call my friend Lucas. Shout out Lucas on like Tuesdays or whenever the new episodes came out, and we would secretly text each other. I'd be like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" He's like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "You watching Lasso?" He'd be like, "Yeah." I'd be like, "You fucking crying, bro?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I fucking am, dude. Me too, dude. Me too. I love
I
you,
don't think
man."
it hit me like that.
oh,
but
dude, it got me when Coach goes to see Nate in the apartment and he tells him his story and like how he forgives Nate.
Oh my god!
And he's like, "You have a job. Show up at 10." I was like,
The fucking Christmas
See,
episode.
There you go. That's the last time you've cried.
I cried like a bitch watching Ted Lasso. Like I laughed my dick off too. Like
Yeah.
I'm like so funny, but
"They're doing a season 4."
I know. Oh, I'm going to be unbearable when it comes out.
I will say, when you watch Shrinking, just know when you hear the name Derek will be your favorite character. Secretly, you'll have other favorite characters, but then anytime Derek's on
love
screen,
Derek.
you're like,
You're fucking
I
right.
love Derek.
Damn right.
Derek's so good. And he's basically just this really passive aggressive. He's the husband of the neighbor, and he's
Yeah.
just like, he's like, "Hey, Derek, how's it going? Oh, just raising kids that aren't mine."
And
you
he's
know?
like retiring, and she's mad at him because he's home all the time. And like, it's really good, dude. Shrinking is fucking spectacular.
It's nice.
TV. These are the things that take your mind off from everything that is going up in flames in this world, and no pun intended on the LA fires and the fires happening in Tellico.
I thought that's
Village
exactly
right
what you're making
And
a
it-
joke of,
and
and I was about to be like, sweet dark sense of humor, bro.
First Dave Chappelle, now her making
Nice.
So just our world going up in flames, and you can distract yourself with television.
I just
Because I do. I mean, I just like sit and I'm so stressed out right now. And I know it's like rooted in fear of like life changes happening, but it's like I just want to watch TV.
dude.
Yeah.
I just want Caleb to hold me while I fall asleep, and
I think
watching
it's more
television.
important now than ever to really I'm trying to think of a way I can say this without sounding like a numbnuts. Like I don't mean to sound like a fucking public service announcement, or a fucking self-help channel, but dude, it's really important now, I think, to manage our screen time, and there's just so much volatile fucking news, and social media is the algorithms are just, first off, they've gotten to know us now. Since 2008, the algorithms have been learning us. So 13 years worth of the algorithm learning what you swipe on, what you read, what you it's just going to keep force feeding you. It's going to literally cram the bad news and the good news under your eyelids until you have a fucking migraine. I think it's just important to, like you said, dial out and just watch a show, listen to a band,
Read a book. We
book.
talked about that last
Go
time.
for
I was
a
on
walk,
one. Do something. I went to the
something.
dog park yesterday morning. It was just nice being in the fresh air. Spring is right around the corner.
Yeah.
You can start. Right now is the time to plant your tomato seeds. So when you can get ready in April and plant your tomatoes so they can start growing. And then in the
Interesting.
summer, things happen. Just get out there and start finding the little things. I feel like I do watch a lot of TV, but at the same time, I got new books. We're
Well,
looking
it's still
forward to
art.
other things.
TV is still art. Movies are
Yeah.
art. You're still watching art, consuming art.
That's true. Yeah.
Really, I mean, I'd make the argument that there's not that much difference between a truly great, a spectacular TV show like Shrinking, an episode of that, and again, maybe I'm going to take a lot of shit for this, but I don't think there's that much difference than going to see a piece of art in a museum. You're still watching a work of creativity
Sure.
generated by a group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Somebody really busted their ass for that.
I will say just I went hiking twice this weekend. Ask me the last time I hiked before that. It's
When?
been about 10 years.
Oh, okay.
I don't hike. I used to love hiking, but I just haven't.
Yeah.
And
You did
literally
it twice in a weekend.
Saturday, me and the missus went on a hike on House Mountain, and I loved it so much. On Sunday, she went to some exercise class, and I was like, I'm going to go back to House Mountain and do another trail.
It's fucking
And
awesome.
I hiked another trail by myself, and halfway through, there was nobody. It was 5 o'clock. The sun was going down. I was like, I should probably turn around and head back to the car before I get murdered out here in the middle of the woods.
Violent nature happened.
But at one point, I just stopped and looked, and you could see the horizon, and it was quiet, and it was 45 degrees and crisp. And I just sat there for 5 minutes and just soaked it in, and I was like, man, this is fucking awesome.
That's what life is about.
Yeah.
That's
It
what life's
so
about.
awesome.
refills you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just
It really
refills
does.
you.
And again,
Prepares you for
it's
your
the little
week.
stuff, man. It's the simple things. The simple things, most of them are free. You know what I mean? You just got to dial in and pay attention to them. I love just walking through the woods right behind my house and filling up my bird feeder and just being out, just being outside.
Seeing the the new corgi puppy,
Yeah.
just getting puppy breath on your face.
Yeah, dude.
cutest.
Pets, going outside and there's 55 raccoons on my fucking deck, you know?
I got a possum. Yeah,
I love
it's
it.
just the
You
things.
own a possum?
I don't own him, but I feed him. He's my critter. I haven't named him yet.
I want critters. I want my own house so I
Critters.
can have critters.
Oh, dude.
And I got stray cats.
just get a fucking bowl of cat food and put it outside. You'll
Yeah.
have plenty of critters. Trust
Yeah.
me, they'll find it.
There are these two massive raccoons that come out of the hill. They look like straight bullies. They're they're huge. They just look mean, and the stray cats run, and they're just what are those alligators on
Rescuers?
The Rescuers? And they just those two.
Oh, they're gangster crocodiles.
Yeah, there's gangster raccoons. They walk out of the woods down
I've got
the hill,
one-
and they just look massive and huge.
There's weird trombone music, womp, womp,
I have
womp,
one-
womp, 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 womp. And you're like, where's that music coming from?
There's one raccoon that comes out on my deck that 100% is not afraid of me at all. It'll just come right up to me. In fact, it'll come up if it comes up on the deck and doesn't find any food, if the cats have eaten and they're all went away, it'll put its hand on the door like, hey, bitch, get out here. And it's real friendly. I haven't touched it because I'm afraid it might bite and I don't want to get rabies or whatever, but it's real friendly. But it's got a bunch of friends.
Do you see the guy that feeds hot dogs to raccoons?
Love it.
He has like
Love
a tub full of like hundreds of hot dogs.
And they're all over him.
And he just sits down and there's just like hundreds of raccoons covering him and he just starts throwing hot dogs out and they go
That's
nuts.
my life. That is me in like 10 years.
You
What I
just
want.
want one. I just want one that sits on the couch and I feed him grapes.
I just
That's
want
all
to find, and
want.
I know this sounds really bad because you never want to.
Google Toonie. There's a raccoon on like social media called Toonie. And it's like a guy's pet, and he gets it riled up, like gets it running around, and it plays like real hard.
See, that's what I want. I want
And
to
it's-
find a baby raccoon.
It's
Is
the
it the
funniest
one that
thing.
sleeps in a drawer?
I don't know. This one's doing fucking laps of the fucking living room, growling and going nuts, and like kind of acting like a cat. And he keeps going, come on, Toonie, come on, Toonie. And the thing's fucking. I can't explain. If you've never seen a raccoon play violently, start Googling Toonie.
One quick question, just on the raccoon thing. I also love red pandas because they're basically just Japanese raccoons. That's basically what they are.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
Will this episode come out before the end of the month?
It should come out within a week.
Okay, perfect. I know that the Knoxville Zoo lets you go and sit with red pandas. You have to sign up for it.
What?
It's like special request. But you can go and sit inside their enclosure or like in a little area, and then the zoo people bring out a couple of their nicer red pandas, and you can like pet them and hold them and play with them. And I'm just saying it out loud
What?
for anyone who may be my
Birthday.
wife and wants to, for the fourth time now that I've brought this up, sign us up for that so I can go see a red panda.
That sounds awesome. That's what I want to do.
Holy shit.
She's going to listen to this and get so upset. I'm going to get a text message in a week and a half, guaranteed.
I had a girlfriend, years ago, I had a girlfriend that volunteered at the Knoxville Zoo, and she got to feed the red pandas, and she said they were really sweet.
Yeah.
She's like, if you were in here, you'd shit. They're
Super
just
cute.
like, yeah, super cute.
Just feed them and let them come to your house.
just
So
put-
they're not yours.
No,
They're-
but I want to pull it into my house and make it my
you
friend.
can become a wild rehabilitator.
I could, but then I have to
Listen
take
to-
on possums and snakes.
Listen
I don't
to
want
this.
that.
Is a video of a raccoon that was on my
I do
porch.
love possums too.
I like possums.
I love this is the raccoon eating. If you want to know what it sounds like.
He doesn't care. He's like eating
He's
and
so
watching you
cute.
film him. He's like, do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like filming me while I'm eating?
Yeah, his little hands are going. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love him. I love him.
Have you ever seen the raccoon taking cotton candy and putting it in water to wash it?
Yes.
Because
And it
raccoons wash their food.
disappears.
And it
And it-
disappears, and he's like, and he
No,
like
that's
freaks
incredible.
out.
I'm Googling that the minute I leave here.
I love it.
Well, guys, we probably should wrap up here a little bit. Thanks for coming in, you two. This is great. I enjoyed
Yeah.
having both of you guys on the podcast at the same time. Let's do it again.
This is like therapy, so I'll do it every single time.
Yeah, man. Let's do another one here soon. Let's get back together. Maybe when spring actually starts and some couple
March
more.
20th.
March 20th.
Is spring is official.
Is that official spring?
Yeah. And spring forward is on Sunday.
Oh, that's right. The time change.
Yeah.
And I will just say that I'm off on that Friday
Do
for
you
my
guys-
birthday weekend.
I
So
don't have a job right now, so
Do you guys prefer spring forward or fall back?
fall back.
Well, of course you like the extra hour of sleep,
Yeah, you get to set your clock.
but I like the fact that the sun doesn't go down before 7:00.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
I do like the sun going down at 9.
My mental health will tell you that it likes spring forward, but my depression will say fall back.
You know,
Nice.
have you heard these people talking about doing away with it and just like having?
Oh yeah, Oklahoma has already.
And Arizona, I believe.
Would you guys want that? I don't know if I would want
A
that.
lot of people don't want it because they're tired of like the back and the forth. But I think if we're going to do spring forward, let's just leave it.
Leave it as spring forward.
Yeah, let's have the sun setting and rising at better, like when there's more light out. I like it.
What would that do? Would it make it get dark super early come fall?
No, it would just start getting like when fall rolled around, instead of falling back, the earth would tilt. And so it would get dark at like 7 or 8 instead of 9 or 10.
I
Yeah,
see.
because you
So
think
you-
about it in the fall when it starts getting dark, and you're like, oh, it's like 7, 8 o'clock, and it's getting dark.
Or like
and then
in
you,
winter, it's
and
dark
then you
at like
fall
5
back,
o'clock.
so that you go back, so it's like now it's dark at fucking 6.
Yeah.
It's dark at 5.
Oh, I get it. So what do they do? They do to just get you extra time in the morning?
It was created for farmers to help spring forward, and then like
Isn't it
you're growing
great
a
in
lot
the
of crops,
70s?
so there's more sun, so they can stay like they can wake up earlier and stay up longer to like do it was like the 70s, like
Yeah.
50, 60, 70, somewhere around there. But now all that's automated. All of it, and that's why people are talking about getting rid of it. It's because farmers don't use it anymore.
They don't use it anywhere else in the world.
So it gains you like an extra hour of daylight in the morning.
No, at night.
At night. Okay, I get it. Well,
And then when you fall back, it gets brighter earlier.
That's okay. That's what I was thinking. I gotcha. Well, I definitely like the way it feels in summer. I like when it's like light a long time.
Yeah, I don't like it being 5:30, 5:20, and it's already pitch black.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, that's just depression.
And some of that might just be because I don't know. Like I might be able to handle it getting dark earlier if it was warm. I also associate that with it being cold. You know, like I could handle being out on a patio if it was dark. If it was like 70 degrees. You know what I mean? Like summer nights, like when you're out overnight in summer and it feels nice to be outside. Like, I don't know. All right, gang, we're going to sign off here. And thanks for joining us again. Please come back and listen to Beacon House again. Drop us a comment, drop us a line. Let us know what you want us to talk about, everything. And we will see you guys soon. Say goodbye, y'all.
Goodbye. You'll make it. We're going to push through.
Love you. Kisses.
Oh, my.